Archie, today's the day. Max, today is the day. Jim?
Yes?
Jim. Today's the day.
Today's the day.
Jim, today is the day. For Visini, or whatever the fuck it's called. It's finally here, the pirate copy of Valerian and the City of Thou. You ready? I've never been more hyped for it. We have been hyped for this for like months.
I know. I out of all the movies that have come out this entire year, this baby. Let's watch.
So Jim, we are 43 minutes or so into Visini. What are your initial reactions?
Initial reactions. The computer graphics are impeccable.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get handed the controller and then we can play it.
This cutscene is fucking epic. I'm just hoping the gameplay is as good as the
The cutscenes. So we just completed Visini. What do you reckon, Jim?
It was pretty funny when that corgi dick dribbled piss.
Archie, what did you think of Valerian? Yeah? Yeah, you liked it, didn't you, mate? Yeah. Alright, Jim. Summarise Valerian in a couple words or whatever.
Well, Cara Delevingne played a good role as Valerian. I like the English guy. Good cutscenes, but action was weak at some points. These snug rugs cost a lot of money.
They're so expensive.
And we can't afford 4. Unless we all want to get under...
Do you know how much they were?
Unless we want to...
They were like 3 copies of Valerian on DVD.
Are you serious? What, for 1 or 2?
1.5? 3. So we've just seen a film, a pretty hyped film that loads of people know about and care about.
I'd be surprised if people didn't know about it, because the amount of adverts I got on YouTube for this fucking movie of Rihanna turning into a squid and then the main character being like, ooh.
Whoa. Dane DeHaan is just brilliant.
Whoa, Squiddy. Whoa, mama. Whoa, that's crazy. You can be my Squidward any day.
I'm gonna marry you, Squidded.
Isn't that the question of the day? Good movie?
Not a good movie. Just not.
What other movies have we seen this year? And let's like put
Dunkirk,
it in the ranks.
Logan, Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
Valerian.
I'd say Valerian. Ooh. It's
better than all them easily.
No, I wouldn't say it's better than Blade Runner. It may be equal to Logan. It's just I thought Blade Runner did the like the stuff better.
Yeah, where they combine.
Yeah.
Good point. What do you think, James? Yeah, we don't care what you think. Just fucking get him out of here. We don't want him on this show anymore. Piss off, James. Yeah, that's more like it. I was so hyped this whole time because of this one video. This one video on YouTube we've probably mentioned before briefly. Of it's like a clip from Valerian.
We were obsessed with it while watching the Fast and Furious 8.
Yeah, we were watching Fast and Furious 8 and it was so boring we went on YouTube while it was still running. And we found a clip from Valerian where an alien went... Bleh.
No, first Cara Delevingne went... Ah! And then the alien goes... Bleh.
Bleh.
And slams her.
Hang on, Jim. Don't say a word. It went like...
Good clip.
Good clip, that one.
It's a good clip.
I'll put that one in here a couple times.
Good. Do it again. Now. Good clip, Alex.
No worries. What are your actual thoughts, though, on Valerian?
I mean,
It wasn't quite as like memey as I was expecting it to
no,
be.
I thought it was going to be like...
I thought it was just going to
like
be
the whole
like complete
time.
nonsense.
Like, just fucking chaos, but... Like, it tried to do humour sometimes and it was just cringy, it wasn't memeable. It wasn't self-aware, but it wasn't, like, it didn't look shit enough at any point to just be like...
It did at points look really bad.
No, it looked really bad, but not like you just show someone it and it's like memeable. They just see it and be like...
It's just a movie in 2017. What
Well, no, they think it's a movie from like 2011.
It's weird because some textures and animation.
Well, like
it's
there's
really high
the
quality.
alien that goes "Brr," looks fine, but like the kingdom it's in looks like a fucking Wallace and Gromit set.
No, they look really good.
They look really good, but I
They
mean,
look
like,
real.
imagine real people walking around a Wallace and Gromit set. It doesn't really work, does it?
It's 2 hours and 20 minutes long, Jim.
Yeah. Well, minus the credits, that's like
It's like 2
an hour
hours and
a
10
half.
minutes long. And I was like, oh, this might be like Blade Runner. The latest one's really long.
Mhm.
And it justifies the running time by being a mystery with different characters and then discovering things throughout the film. But in Valerian, like, half the film is filler. But
Yeah.
like, filler is in, there are two main characters. You got Valerian and you got, what's the name?
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Vampire in New Orleans go on an adventure and first vampire gets stolen.
Why are you calling him vampire?
Sorry, Valerian. Valerian gets stolen. So then New Orleans has to save Vampire. She does that for like 15 minutes.
And then as soon as she saves him, she gets captured.
Not captured by anyone like related to the plot. It's just
She
like
touches a butterfly and the butterfly turns out to be someone fishing.
it's really quite surreal.
And what I really don't understand, spoiler alert, so she gets caught by the fisherman who goes zzz, and she gets taken away. And then the main character, Valeria, jumps off to get the butterflies, to get one that sucks him up. And he does it, and he goes up, but to a different place. Like, because he does it, then for like 30 minutes he's running around talking to Rihanna to try and find her.
Rihanna shows up and she's actually an octopus. There's this like really sexual dance that Rihanna
yeah,
does.
there's a fucking, she does a pole dance.
Just out of nowhere.
And
Previously,
like,
everything.
half
all
an
the
hour before
humour-
that, there's the 3 fucking minion characters for babies.
No, all of the humor previous to that scene
Uh-huh.
is like this weird,
Baby.
very childish
Mm-hmm.
humor. Like, there's this little thing that looks like Argue Without Fur that
Squirts like
just goes-
balls.
and stuff like that. And like, there's this scene where there's this big like creature with like 4 legs going,
Yeah.
and it like jumps onto their ship and they fly into the sky, but they fly so high that it lets go and then goes, and then yeah. It's exactly that. It does that. And there's a scene where like a vampire like throws a fucking knife into this alien's head and it goes into like
Yeah, it
his,
does,
into his
yeah.
skull, and there's blood everywhere and like it's just really bizarre.
But
Probably-
then there's that one scene where Rihanna's like spreading her ass in front of the camera.
yeah, she's like twerking in front of Dane DeHaan and he's like, you don't see
Whoa.
this every day.
Yeah.
And then he like marries Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I don't know why they get married.
It's weird because when you think of something like this, when you look at it, you imagine a lot of character and work went into trying to make it all come together.
Yeah.
But it ultimately is really hollow, and
Extremely.
everyone is really boring. There's not one character that is like remotely interesting.
They both basically have that part at the start where he's like, my character is that I'm cocky, and she's like, ugh, and then that's the only character development.
Dane DeHaan's whole thing is that he's like Han Solo, but worse. He's like scrawny, lame, tired-looking Han Solo.
But then at the end, he's like, I'm a soldier. I do things by the books.
It's just so boring.
Yeah.
Like, just you describing him to me is putting me to sleep. And there's this like villain character who's really English. I had to do it for the rules. If we don't do the rules, then millions would have died.
And the other guy's like, sir, should we wipe out this entire race? And then he's like, yes. And then he says, can you confirm that? Yes, I do. And that's like his evil
The dialogue's
statement.
really bad. It is really bad. And the performances on top of it are really bad. The casting is so strange.
That's the thing that fascinates me. Because, like, I know none of these actors are like, why mama? But Cara Delevingne is like, kinda why mama, you know? She was in GTA.
Was she?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's the voice person on the radio, Non-Stop Pop.
All right. But she's just a model, though.
Yeah.
But
I mean, she's a big name, you know? It's just
so
weird.
It's Rihanna. Rihanna.
Yeah, but Rihanna's always been
Rihanna.
in pure shit when it comes to movies.
And, like...
But, and that guy...
Think about the producer who's like, we got this hot property, Valerian. We need a big star to be the main character, Valerian. I know, Dane DeHaan. Everyone knows Dane DeHaan.
Well known from The Cure for Wellness.
Oh, he was great in Spider-Man. He was great as the Green Goblin.
Hobgoblin.
What a lead that'd be.
He was the Hobgoblin.
He was great as the Hobgoblin. He was great gobbling them hobs. Let's put him, and there's a scene where he's shirtless, and it's like, he just looks like a skinny boy. He looks like a skinny boy.
I'm glad that he wasn't ripped.
Yeah, so am I.
But
if Dane DeHaan looked like...
They
if he got
probably should have
ripped,
cast an adult, not someone that looks like they're 17.
Yeah.
Like, for his dialogue, at least.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm handsome, I'm ripped, super cool, and he looks like how he looks.
He looks like early 20s.
Yeah.
It's like me, but 20 times more tired looking.
It's more like me, because I'm even more babyier, because I don't even have facial hair.
No, but you don't look as tired as him.
Yeah, but neither do you.
Just add the massive... There's a really funny scene with, like, Rihanna turns into him, Dane DeHaan, as like a child, and they, like, purposefully chose a child with huge rings under his eyes to make him look tired.
Like, crooked teeth and shit. Poor guy. I bet you
But do you know what I mean? It's quite weird for a Hollywood film.
Yeah, but it's French, so...
That's what it comes down to. Is like every time something was like, what? One of us would just say, it's French.
Yeah.
Every time there was something really weird that happened.
It's French.
One of my biggest disappointments was with how wacky and crazy everything is. They didn't have a wacky, fun soundtrack. It was just hyper boring and expected.
Hollywood bullshit.
It just sounded like a Marvel movie. It could have been like the Thor soundtrack, for all I knew, that they just copy and pasted.
Yeah, mama.
Oh, well. You disappointed by Valerian, Jim?
I kind of am.
I kind of am. I was hoping it was going to be either better or worse. If
it had been, like, actually good, I would have been like, what?
Yeah, I would have been like, that's brilliant.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't.
It peaks about 3 minutes in, I'd say. And just progressively gets worse throughout, because it's so long.
Where does it peak? The peak is that fucking bullshit action scene. It's just like suddenly he can just sprint through. It's like that scene from Madagascar 3 where he's just like running through walls and shit. No explanation.
He's just like
I was expecting from the trailers and stuff they'd always show that off. And I was expecting there was going to be this lead up, he gets this super suit and this gun that can shoot like
portals
and like force fields,
shields.
But then he's just like, I'm putting my helmet on, and then puts it on, just runs through walls and has this random portal gun. Like,
he's like James Bond in space, but like they just don't explain any of it. Like at one part randomly he puts this thing in his mouth, and then these aliens come in with this goo gun and they goo him. And he's trapped in goo, and then suddenly, because the thing he put in his mouth, it turns into a robot spider and crawls around him and then cuts him out of the goo.
Yeah.
It's like,
how the fuck did he know he was going to get gooed?
It's not very fun, because where's the tension and the mystery?
Yeah.
When any device on him can just get him out of any problem.
Like you never think, how's he going to get out of this one?
Yeah, it's just, he's probably got something that can do whatever.
Well, no, not probably. He definitely has something that is perfect for this exact situation. He's just Rick from Rick and Morty.
Luckily, I packed my robot spider.
I'm Valerian Rick.
I'm Valerian in the city of 1,000 planets, Rick. Oh, man. The weird part was, like, at first I thought, maybe this might be alright.
Yeah. I
This
thought
might
that
be fun.
because, like, the CG at the start was like,
it's not even bad.
It was a bit, like, silly.
Yeah, very goofy. You thought they were, like, tiny people.
No, but, like, that's a fair assumption when they're living in shells.
They're living in giant seashells. It's just
So there must
bizarre.
be giant sea snails or something.
They
on
never
that
show
planet.
them, so
No.
a very bizarre movie.
Yeah.
But it was quite nice. I was never bored.
No, that's another weird thing. We paused it like 45 minutes in, and I said, "How long has it been?" And you were like 45 minutes, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
It felt like it had been 20 minutes.
and that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a really good thing.
The only parts that dragged for me were the awful like villain bit.
Yeah.
Or the
Well,
like,
it started to drag as it went on.
yeah, those bits. Which is weird because like at the same time you don't like it.
Yeah.
You know, like the plot isn't interesting. It's so simplistic. Everything is so by the books,
It's really simple.
but it's just so long and bloated.
It's really simple, but it also has these ideas in the movie
that are very
that
complex.
are really, really complex. Like the first action sequence
Yeah,
is him wearing like a bracelet that puts half of him in one reality and the rest of him is in the normal reality. So for them, there's just like a bracelet with a gun running around.
yeah, which is a cool idea.
Yeah.
The first 30 minutes establishes a new alien race you've never seen before on a planet you've never seen before with this like special power and energy source you've never seen before. Then they get attacked, destroyed, and then that's over. And that's sent to the main character, who's a policeman who at the same time has just received this message that he thinks is a dream. Then he's in a spaceship and he's going on a mission, and he proposes to his girlfriend and she says no. And then he goes down and he does this mission, and then on the mission they establish that there's actually a way you can put sunglasses on and see another dimension. But then in that dimension you can actually interact with it if you wear a device that can like warp things between dimensions, and you've got to get a secret alien thing from John Goodman, who's randomly in it, and then they steal the alien, and then there's like an action scene, and his arm gets trapped in the other dimension, and there's also a guy who has a dart gun that shoots a dart into someone, and then he can put a helmet on and control the guy who got the dart shot into him with his helmet, and like control him like a robot. It's just so much to wrap your head around.
This is
the first like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that kind of shit just keeps going on throughout the movie.
Yeah, and they just expect you to like roll with it. And among all of that, it's not just humans. It's like the most bizarre looking aliens and creatures, and just there are spaceships, and they've just there's nothing that grounds any of it. It's just mad. It's completely insane.
Yeah.
And there is a certain level of respect I have just because it's so out there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why we were never bored, because it was just interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad
regard.
this movie was made, but also not glad because I'm sure it's done fucking terribly.
It's just
like
how can you sell this to anyone?
Yeah. So
when you have easy digestible Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars, Interstellar, all these easy to digest like science fiction, science fantasy, space movies.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas where you take this and you show a clip of the sick puking alien or whatever, screaming alien. It's like
I reckon the stuff that made the movie worse was like when they made it more generic, like with the humor and shit.
Yeah.
And those characters, like the three guys who were in the movie for like 5 minutes total.
That was like they have these 3 CG characters that are like these little imps with wings and a long snout, and they don't talk in complete sentences. They like share a sentence between them, which is like I think of like Hercules.
Yes.
You know, with those 3 witches or whatever. I can't remember what they're called. Yeah, they share the eye. It felt more like a fantasy element just shoved into this science fiction universe.
But like it's just the way they were animated and their attitude felt very like trying to be fucking strange magic by George Lucas.
Oh my god. Would you recommend pirating Valerian and giving it a watch?
No, I'd recommend buying Valerian on DVD.
On Blu-ray to appreciate the crispy graphics.
Yes.
It was like a fucking video game though, let's be real.
Yeah. Like...
I would play the Valerian game.
No, I wouldn't.
Why? It would be nice.
It wouldn't be nice. It would be sluggish.
There's literally a scene that was like, you can imagine it being like in Mass Effect, where they establish the Citadel from Mass Effect where all these alien races converge.
Yeah.
And the first time they like fly there, for some reason like the AI on the ship is like, this is where the water ones live. They're good at mining graphite.
Yeah.
This is where the slugs live. There where you go if you need your ship repaired. There's literally a whole scene like that.
Yeah, there is a scene like that, and the only reason it exists is because that action scene when Valerian's just running around, he just goes through every single one.
And there's a fucking weird scene where, like, out of nowhere, to get to Cara Delevingne, who's been captured, Dane DeHaan has to go into a submarine, which goes into the water world, which finds this, like, big sea creature that looks like it's from the Phantom Menace. And they're in this submarine with, like, little robot arms, and it grabs a jellyfish, which is established lives on these massive animals. And the jellyfish can go on their heads. I think I got it wrong way around. It's while Dane DeHaan's captured and Cara Delevingne needs it. And it's like...
Dane DeHaan isn't captured, he's just unconscious on the floor somewhere.
That's right,
somewhere that she doesn't know.
Yeah. Just a mess of a movie. But a fascinating one.
It is fascinating. That is a movie you'd love to just, like, see the production of. You'd love to see...
Well, it would just be a bunch of people standing in a room of green walls.
But, like, from the director's viewpoint.
Yeah.
Like...
Despite its lack of character, it's got a weird personality to it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That...
Yeah, absolutely.
In a world where so many films now lack any kind of expression... because they need to be these by-the-book safe. You're making a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
It has to fit into our structure.
You're describing exactly what, like, the prequels were for George Lucas. Just someone's vision.
Yeah.
And this is his vision. And for some reason it looks just like the prequels.
Is there anything else funny about it? Or should we move on?
The squid dies.
What squid?
Rihanna.
Jim? Spoilers?
I already said spoilers ages ago.
It's fucking awful. It's so weird. There's a fight scene where, like,
there's a fight scene where she's getting like glued all around. She's like fucking zipping and zooming around, like, you can't catch me. And she's like making holes in herself. And then she falls down a hole and she's like, I must have got hurt during the fight.
And then she turns into Rihanna.
She turns into Rihanna as like an Egyptian goddess, and then crumbles into dust.
She goes into stone and then goes into dust. This must sound just nuts to anyone like listening. It must be like, no.
It's weird. You sort of like get into its head. See it from.
It makes sense when you're watching it in the film.
Yeah.
But when you have to describe it, like, it just sounds.
It's like drugs.
Yeah.
This movie is just like a fucking trip on acid.
If you had to describe it with one word.
Visini.
If I had to describe it with one word, it would be. Just put the screaming bit in.
Anyway.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you
on the next
Valerian in a City of a Thousand Planets show.
Aggie, sir.